Good evening, Drew.
Okay. Man, it's my turn to be bursting with content.
Oh, I can't wait. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
first of all, thank you for being so
Mm.
flexible
Oh,
on all of the
yeah, yeah.
shuffling of the recording this week.
No problem.
You truly do need to put up with me a lot. Hey, before I launch into my stuff though, how did all the band stuff go?
It was good. They got reserve grand champion, which is a fancy way of saying second place. Uh, the
Reserve Grand Champ.
because there's a grand champion
Okay.
and there's a reserve grand champion. That's just what they call it. I don't know.
Huh.
It was in Portsmouth, uh, which is like if you have a strong arm, you can throw a rock and hit West Virginia. So it was like hour and a half in the car.
Did you go? I'm actually pretty familiar because I sort of go down that way to go to the beach.
Yeah,
So that's yeah, I'm very familiar with Portsmouth, Ohio. Um, okay.
hmm
How long of a drive is that for you?
about hour and a half.
Hour and a half? Yeah, that
hmm
sounds about right. Because it's like
hmm
2 hours to the West Virginia border for me. It's
Yeah,
not fun.
yeah, but it was a good time. It was a good time. I'm very tired though, very tired. But
Okay. Well, I'm glad I moved this up then, so we can all get to bed early.
uh,
Okay, we need to start with some gaming.
okay, yes.
Um, so first of all, I was gonna come on here and I was gonna tell you how broken Destiny was last weekend.
hmm
Um, but ironically, Destiny is still very broken, but not in a fun way.
Oh, okay. So like, when you mean broken, you mean like down, or you mean they changed something and it's not
Well,
good?
okay. I don't. If you hate gaming, just skip to the next chapter because I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pop off. All right, I'm
Okay,
gonna pop
okay.
off on a Destiny rant here. So last weekend, there was a bug that somebody found in Destiny that
hmm
basically made the game trivial. Like you could do
Oh,
anything.
okay.
So a while back, Destiny introduced the concept of weapon crafting. Now, again, if you're not a Destiny player, just to kind of level set and put you in the frame of mind to understand what I'm talking about, part of the appeal of playing a game like Destiny is the loot, like the stuff you get for playing the game.
But they often call it a looter shooter.
It is a looter shooter. You run around and you shoot things, and they drop little. Uh, uh, I don't know. They look like little D8s. I don't know. It's what they look like. They're engrams. I don't know why they call them
Oh,
that.
yes, yeah.
They look like little eight-sided die that drop on the ground, and then you pick them up and you get new stuff. And they
hmm
can be different pieces of clothing for your pretty little guardian, or it could be weapons. Now, one of the quote unquote end game activities of Destiny is trying to maximize your character. You want to be able to deal out massive damage. You want to be able to survive longer in fights, which lets you do more challenging content and get better rewards. And it is a constant treadmill. So weapons in particular are really interesting because of, aside from the archetypes of the weapons, right? Because there's like pistols, there's assault rifles, sniper rifles, shotguns, rocket launchers, all these different kinds. They all have different weapon perks, and these change the behavior of the guns. Some guns get extra damage if you're around enemies. Some guns reload faster than others. Some guns synergize with certain abilities that you might use on your character. So there's incentive to basically, again, try to maximize that. Now, previously, this was completely random. You were beholden to the luck of the draw when these weapons would drop, and you would pick them up. Three people could finish a boss fight or some other piece of challenging content in Destiny, and you would all maybe even get the same gun, but it would mostly be randomized as to what these different perks or abilities on the gun were. Now, what Bungie did, Bungie's the people that make Destiny, is they made it so that you can craft certain weapons, not all the weapons, but certain weapons. And whenever you're crafting weapons, they behave exactly like the non-crafted version of the weapon. So, for instance, there is an assault rifle called Sweet Sorrow. And Sweet Sorrow is just an assault rifle. It does arc or electric damage to the people who don't follow this the way that
mm
I do.
mm mm.
It has a really high rate of fire. And it really synergizes well when I'm playing my what I affectionately call my Yeet Titan because I literally throw myself at enemies to do damage at them. Anyway,
I love it. Okay.
yeah. Now, The whole idea is that these guns have a concept called a frame. And the frame basically determines the type of different weapon it is. So for example, you can create Sweet Sorrow, which is a type of assault rifle, and it has what is called a rapid fire frame, which means it has a high magazine capacity and a high rate of fire. But there's also other types of assault rifle frames that shoot slower but do more damage. So, well, I say all of this in service of that was all prelude. I say all this in service of somebody found a bug where you could combine two different types of weapons to completely hilarious results. Basically, what I was able to do, and I'll tell you how I was able to do this in a minute. Basically, what I was able to do was create a version of that Sweet Sorrow assault rifle that basically behaved like a shotgun. And yeah, it fired 62 rounds, rapid fire style, in a shotgun pattern, which basically meant instead of just one shot doing X amount of damage, I was doing 8X the amount of damage because I was firing 8 bullets at once for 62 consecutive bullets. And people were creating really interesting combinations. The really powerful ones, the ones that I was seeing a lot of, is people were creating, grenade launchers that acted like shotguns. So instead of just shooting one grenade or one rocket, you were shooting 8 rockets. And as you can imagine, this huge power imbalance made the game very easy. People were soloing content, people were doing higher level raid content, just absolutely breezing through it. Now, the game couldn't handle it. Okay. There were certain enemies that if you had multiple people using what the community affectionately dubbed as silly guns in in the same content, the game really didn't know what to do because, for instance, if I and friend of the show John Krebs were both shooting the same target, we were doing damage so much that the game couldn't keep up with the current state of the enemy. So like it would just randomly go back to full health because it was like, oh well, I don't know what to do here because we were destroying things so very very quickly. Anyway, uh, Bungie realized what was happening. Okay, and Bungie's the people that are responsible for making Destiny. Bungie realized what was happening, and they have a very very firm stance on what they consider to be unfair advantages in the game. And their rule is basically this: if you were to use like an aimbot or something that manipulated the network code of the game, that is a bannable offense. Like they will delete your character, just like that time that I got swept up in that Grand Theft Auto ban, which I still don't like to talk about. Their stance is, those are the things that will get you in trouble. Bungie also has a stance of if someone finds an exploit, it's fair fucking game until they fix it. So they posted a tweet on, I hate saying this, on X, basically saying like, hey, we know there's a weapon bug. Let's all have some fun till we fix it. And that was their stance. And then it was, okay, I guess we're just going to break Destiny this weekend. And it was honestly, as silly and as chaotic as it was so much fun. Like it was just so much fun to see people. Like I had a sniper rifle that acted like a shotgun. Like I had some really interesting builds, and people were also getting very creative with like some of the exotic weapon perks that you can craft. It was just a very 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 fun weekend. And of course, Destiny is so fragile and so brittle as a code base that they said that they were going to drop a fix in 24 hours. It didn't get fixed until Monday. Like they found out about it on Friday. It didn't get fixed until Monday because they quote unquote required additional testing or whatever. Right.
So what happened to all the other, the silly guns?
Okay. So
what happened to those?
So basically they basically did 2 patches to fix the issue. The first one was that they basically disabled the guns. That if you had a crafted gun, and it had a frame on it, Bungie basically disabled the frame. So for instance, like that rapid fire assault rifle I created, it went back to being a regular assault rifle, but it didn't have the rapid fire trait. So it was like essentially useless. Like I didn't even want to use it. Now, after that, they came through in a second pass and basically they re-enabled all those abilities, but they ran like basically a database query to say, oh, that frame doesn't belong on that gun. We're just going to flip the bit on the database, and now your gun is like fixed.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's how they were able to correct it. And of course, they issued a patch that made crafting these weapons impossible. Now, Destiny's a really interesting game, kind of the way that it's held together. A while back, and I don't know if this has been confirmed as fixed or not, but if you're playing on a computer, there are certain things in Destiny that are tied to your frame rate. And again, for those of you that aren't nerds like us, your frame rate is basically how fast the game is rendered on your computer, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. Higher is generally better. It means smoother gameplay. There is a significant advantage to having a higher frame rate, especially in competitive multiplayer games. Your monitor refreshes at like when we say refresh, like the amount of times per second, because it's measured in hertz, the amount of times per second that your screen redraws itself. And in games, that means that the faster the game can redraw itself, the smoother the animations are, the smoother the game plays. It's generally good. But Destiny's weird because there are certain things in the game where having a higher frame rate is actually disadvantageous.
Really?
There's certain enemies in the game that can kill you in one shot if your frame rate is above 60. Because like the damage numbers are somehow tied to the frame rate. So you can actually make the game easier by playing at a lower frame rate.
Huh.
In certain scenarios, not every scenario. There's just certain enemies and certain damage types that are tied to it. Now, this particular glitch was discovered by somebody who basically figured out that if you were quick enough when you were crafting a gun, because there's like a little menu you have to go through and you have to click on the gun you want to make. If you were quick enough, you clicked on one gun, and before the screen changed, if you were able to switch categories and pick another gun, it would basically be like, I guess you wanted this gun, and it would combine the two guns together.
Oh, that's superb. That's superb.
Now, Paul, the key word here is fast enough.
Okay.
Now, if you know one thing about me and computers, what is it that I like?
Speed.
So I wasn't able to get this trick to work initially
because your computer was too fast.
My computer too strong, right? Like it was too fast.
Oh.
So I had to find ways to deliberately slow my computer down. So
do you remember like a video encode while you were playing the game?
Well, so here's what I was able to. Here's how I was able to semi-reliably reproduce the glitch, as we are calling it. If I capped my frame rate in game to 30 frames per second, I turned my render resolution to 200%, so basically doubling my render resolution.
Okay.
And downloaded Cyberpunk 2077 in the background on the same hard drive that Destiny was installed in, I could get it to work. So that was fun. But now Destiny is still broken, but not in a good way. So we have been, and I say we, the group that I regularly play Destiny with, we've been trying to play Destiny for basically a whole week, and we've been unable to.
Oh, no.
And yeah, basically, it keeps booting people out of the game. And apparently, there is an ongoing distributed denial of service attack against Destiny right now. Where you can play for maybe 5 to 10 minutes and then you just constantly get booted. And it's so bad that someone has a Twitch streaming channel where they're monitoring the health of the various Destiny APIs and showing spikes of people being booted offline or slow responses or anything to reliably predict this. Now, Bungie has said that they were aware of it, but this was like Thursday. And they haven't posted an update since, which I have to imagine they're being kind of quiet about it because I'm sure there's like ongoing investigations because this is like really super against the law. So I don't know what's going on, but ever since that weekend, we've been chasing that high and we just haven't been able to play Destiny.
That's too bad.
And then I found $5.
Yeah, good story.
So, yeah. So that's kind of what's going on in video game land for me because we really want to play Destiny, but we can't.
That's tough. That's tough.
I know we said we were going to put a 2-week moratorium on it. Switching gears here real quick. Did you finish Starfield?
No.
Okay. I finished it today because I couldn't play Destiny. We'll bring it back next week. So you're not playing it anymore.
I'm kind of done with it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you just want to do this now?
It's up to you.
I mean, we're in video game corner.
I mean, I just like, so like the week prior, I had a delightfully Bethesda. So I started doing some more side quests in Starfield, and some of the side quests are really, really boring.
Okay.
And I had a delightfully Bethesda moment.
Okay.
Where I was doing this particular quest, and I was schlepping back and forth between one end of a city, quote city, and another. And I went to talk to an NPC, and I could not just get, like, for whatever reason, the game was just a little bit grumpy, and I could not get my character in the place and my camera in the right place for the talk to this person thing to start to actually come up to finish the quest. So of course, I actually picked up like a shot glass at the bar and committed a crime and got arrested. And then at that point, I'm like, I'm just gonna take a break. And then Cyberpunk 2.0 came out, and yeah, I think I'm gonna play that instead.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. I'll just say this about Starfield. I did finish it, and I don't know how far you made it into the story. How do I say this? How much more did you play?
I mean, I did play a good chunk of it more. Like,
I mean, you could just drop a spoiler alert in here. It's been a while since we exploited your daughter's soundbite. So,
hey nerds, there's gonna be spoilers.
I did encounter the Starborn.
Okay. Yeah, that's the big twist. You sort of
Mhm.
encounter the Starborn, but how much further into the story did you play? Because there's a pretty surprising thing that happens.
I mean, I killed a bunch of them.
Okay.
And then like encountered the hunter.
Okay.
And like there was the attack on the lodge and stuff, and then looks like no matter what you do, one of your party dies.
Who died in your party?
Shit, the guy,
Barrett.
Barrett, yeah, Barrett died.
That's who
yeah.
died in mine too. But I don't know how much more you played after that.
That was really about it. Yeah.
So, you want me to spoil it for you?
Yes, please, by all means.
So basically, it's a multiverse. Starborn are people who found artifacts in other universes, pass through a singularity, and they basically are quote unquote reborn into the new universe with the sole driving purpose of finding more artifacts. So and it was interesting, right? Because when I was reading that Starfield was coming out, this was the first Bethesda game with a new game plus. And for, again, gamer talk, but new game plus is basically like you restart the game over, but your character level persists. You lose all your items and you sort of have to start the story over from the beginning, but you keep your character level. So if you choose at the end of the game to become Starborn, you could play the game again, and like I was like level 40 something when I ended it. So like I'm level 40 in my new game, but I'm not going to play through it again. I'm going to wait until it gets mod support, but to kind of understand the implications that it has in the game, and there were a couple really like quantum leap style quests that you have to go through later in the game that were actually kind of fun. Yeah, it was very interesting. So I thought it told a really good story. I am sort of glad to be done with it, just because it has its rough edges, but I'm sort of glad to kind of be done with it. So, but since you brought it up, Cyberpunk 2077 2.0 dropped ahead of Phantom Liberty, and what's the verdict?
I think it's freaking spectacular.
I have downloaded it because I want to try it. But
I was pretty down on the game when it first came out.
You very much were.
And it was like literally someone, I mean, I wasn't the only person to say these things, but like the CD Projekt Red was like, okay, I think they were just taking notes, and they fucking fixed it. They fixed it, Drew. It's fixed it. It's good. It's really, really good. And it's funny, like when the game's not crashing every 45 minutes for me, I can actually get into the game and enjoy it, and I'm enjoying the story more, and I'm doing more side quests that I didn't really do before because I was just like, okay, we're finishing this. Uh, I'm having a lot of fun with it. A lot of fun. Uh, it's it's good. It's good. And like Phantom Liberty drops, I think like Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm real excited to play that. I mean, Phantom Liberty, the expansion, has gotten like glowing reviews.
I've seen that. There's been a few sites that have actually published reviews ahead, and I've been reading some of the articles about the 2.0 changes, and I'll be honest, it would definitely get me back into it because I do want to play through the game and make some different choices.
Oh yeah, like Cyberware is completely different. The skill tree is completely different. Like character progression, 100% different. Like just 100% different. It's just full of these little tweaks and changes. The city feels more alive. Like when I was playing like before dinner, and I encountered like I looks like it was like two rival gangs driving down the highway shooting at each other.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and there was like I wasn't involved at all. I was just caught in the crossfire. Yeah, it's just it's delightful. It's delightful. Yeah, I don't know. I would highly recommend dusting it off and trying it again. I would do what CD Projekt Red said and start a new save.
Yeah,
because it's. I guess if you don't, they add a quest to go back to see Victor, like your first Ripper Doc, to like redo your cyberware. But like it's all different. It's all different. Yeah, you can upgrade cyberware. Like every Ripper Doc has the same cyberware now, so you don't have to do that dance of remembering who has what. I don't. It's good. It's good. I'm playing a Netrunner with smart guns, and it is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean there were so many things I just didn't do in the original game because there was no payoff for doing it. Like the Netrunner aspect, the smart guns, like I really want to play like a melee focused character.
Oh yeah,
that just really wasn't enjoyable in the original.
There are entire like skill trees and like perks and stuff devoted just to that.
Yeah.
So.
And I heard what did they do to the crafting system?
So basically you don't have to level up perks to unlock crafting levels. Now like they still have like different tiers of things. Like tiers are much more important now. There's like tiers 1 through 4, there may even be more. And it definitely seems to be like you get access to higher tier stuff as your level goes up. So you get to buy all the same things over and over again, which is fine. But basically, like, you don't have to like level up and spend your, perk points to unlock new crafting things. You just kind of get them and you encounter crafting specs in the wild and you can buy more. There's a lot more crafting specs to buy from vendors and stuff. So, yeah, I've upgraded a few weapons and I've crafted some quick hacks. But I really haven't spent a whole lot of time on that. But it's fun. It's fun.
I really want to try it. I don't know if I'll get Phantom Liberty or not right away, but I'm definitely going to fire up a new playthrough of Cyberpunk to check some of the stuff out. Because like you said, it's been getting like just absolutely raving reviews. But the one thing I read, and I didn't know this, but like this is the only expansion we're getting to the game.
Yes,
which seems like such a huge waste.
Well, from what it sounds like, this whole like it's really because of the engine Cyberpunk is built on. They're basically saying no more of that. Everything's going to be focused on Unreal. So all of their new stuff is on a different engine, and I guess they downsized recently. I wonder if I can find this. There's actually a pretty good. Yeah, there was actually a pretty good documentary that someone did about. It's called like a Phantom Liberty documentary, but it's actually like it covers more than that. I watched it. It's really good. Hold on. I will find it and I will put a link
Okay.
because it is good. Of course, the link. At first, something on Reddit came up, but the Reddit doesn't actually have the link to the. Oh wait, there it is. There it is. Hold on, I found it. Okay. Okay. Here we go. I'm not sure if I'm linked the English version. Yes, I did. Okay. Here we go. It actually covers like the final bits of development of the game, the launch, like how hard that was on the team. For the launch and like them dealing with death threats and stuff, and then like I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, but like one of the hype, I think like the climax of the documentary is they have Phantom Liberty, and they're gonna bring in a bunch of like content creators, and they're gonna give them hands-on in the game. And of course, like every piece of software, right before a big demo, like there's horrible bugs
Been there.
that they find right at the last minute. And like I guess like some of them literally had to stay up all night just like getting things ready. And yeah. And then, obviously some reviewers are calling this the best video game expansion ever. So
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Let's just all slow down a little bit.
Mhm.
I mean, I want it to be good, and I've read so many good articles about it. So probably when I'm done here tonight, I'll fire it up, since it doesn't look like I'll be able to play Destiny. So I'll probably fire it up tonight.
Yeah, it's I mean, there's still Keanu Reeves, Johnny Silverhand performance is questionable. But I really think like the game not crashing every 45 minutes is really improved.
I mean, listen, that's
of the game. Yeah,
I feel like that's table stakes. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's
Yeah.
working for you
Yeah.
on your PlayStation.
It has not crashed once.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, time to shift gears.
Mhm.
We both have Kickstarter updates.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I
I want you to go first,
Okay.
because this is big. This is big.
Okay.
This is big.
Okay. So I opened up my door one day and there was a very, very square cardboard box sitting on my porch. And I was like, what is this? I'm not expecting a package. I haven't got any like tracking numbers. I don't know what this is.
Mhm.
It's got my name on it, so clearly it's for me.
Yep.
So I opened the box and they were my heavies.
Hey, it's the heavies.
The heavies. And I was very excited, and I immediately took a picture and sent it to you because I was very excited that I got my heavies.
Yep.
So one of the things that's really cute, hold on, in the box.
I'm sorry to
Oh,
interrupt
okay.
you. I'm sorry. I know people hate when I do this, but
Mhm.
when you said you opened your door and there was a box there, did they not send you any sort of tracking
No.
information?
No, not at all. None.
I thought that's
None.
what you were implying.
No, yeah, none. I had known that they had sent me an email saying it was going to ship soon, but that was like 3 weeks ago. And I was kind of like, oh, they must have ran into a problem. But they just kind of showed up on my porch, and I'm very happy. And it's cute. I get this there's a little certificate in there. Maybe I'll make this the chapter art.
Yeah, please.
It just says it's an original backer certification, basically thanking me for buying heavies as a Kickstarter thing. And it looks like the guy who designed it actually signed the certificate. It looks like it's real pen.
Wow.
Yeah. It says keep on rocking with heavies. Okay. This is my heavies review.
Okay.
Review.
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to start with the physical design, and then we'll get to the meat of it. Okay.
I'm so here for this.
Okay. Let's first start. They are heavy, but they're not AirPods Max heavy. But they have really, really like deep padded ear cups, and I find them to be extremely comfortable. Though the headphones that I typically use are open backed, and these ones clearly are not. So they get a little warm after a couple hours. But if I have one complaint, okay, so I put the link to the Heavies website on there, okay? And they don't really have a lot of good pictures of this quality, of this. But if you kind of look at them, uh, the way the headband attaches to the ear cups is kind of unique looking. It almost looks like they have like little stubby horns sticking out of them.
Yeah.
Okay. It is not so bad if you have, let's say, a normal sized head.
Mm.
But I have a big head. I have a big head, Drew. And these things look ridiculous on me. they're like stretched out. Those horns are pointing at weird angles. They are not flattering headphones to wear.
Okay.
They're but that's okay. But that's okay, because who cares how your headphones look? How do they sound? So you can listen to heavies in one of three ways. Okay. They're Bluetooth, so you can listen to them wirelessly. They have a little headphone jack, so they can act as passive headphones. And they also have a USB port, and they have a built-in DAC, so you can connect to your computer via USB and listen to them that way. I'm here to tell you that as passive headphones, they are bad.
Oh no.
Okay. There is definitely some magic happening, some audio processing when they are connected via USB and Bluetooth. When they are connected via either Bluetooth or USB, they are very fun. They have a very distinct sound, unlike anything I've heard. So one of so obviously there's some like gimmicks here. They're saying, they're specifically engineered for heavy metal, which basically what it means is like it's a V curve, lots of heavy bass, lots of high end, not a lot in the middle, which is fine. A lot of heavy metal vocals aren't in the middle because either they're doing, pig squeals or Cookie Monsters. So
or dogs barking.
Mm-hmm, yep. They have 8 drivers. So each ear cup has 2 woofers, and they have 2 front-facing tweeters, which basically means, I don't know if you can see, if you find a good picture of the cup, the ear cup, you can see these little itty bitty little tweeters literally on the like front inside of the ear cup. And that definitely makes it feel, if audiophiles like to use this word called soundstage. Okay. And soundstage is the impression about where the music is coming from. So some people like a very wide soundstage. It sounds like the music is kind of coming from all around them. A soundstage is one part like audio engineering, one part imagination. But these have a very forward soundstage. So it definitely sounds like the sound is coming in front of you. Because literally it is, like the speakers are at the front of the cups. And to me, the sound reminds me of live music, right? You kind of have this like omnipresent, like omnidirectional lows, but like the highs, the guitars, the vocals are coming from quote unquote the stage. And I like them, Drew. And there's also there's a funny man who lives inside my headphones, Drew. I should have recorded this ahead of time, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank the gain up on my microphone a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm going to put my headphones up to the microphone, and then I'm going to do some things, and I'm going to see if you can hear them.
Okay.
So here we go. Okay, here we go.
Power on.
Oh my God, it's terrifying. I've had nightmares that have begun exactly like that. Wait, do that one again.
Power on.
Wait, hold on.
Hell blocker activated.
Hell blocker activated. What is this? What are you, Doom guy?
So hell blocker is what they call their noise canceling.
Okay.
There's also like if you max, there's actually a little. These are the first headphones I've owned that actually has a knob.
Okay, we love a good knob.
Yeah, and so the knob doesn't have like any markings on it, but if you turn the headphones up all the way, it'll go like maximum volume.
Oof. Is that cringe?
Uh,
Is it cringe?
you know what? I think so. Yes.
Okay, all
I
right.
think
I didn't want to say it, but
it's one of those things where like the first time it happens, you're like, oh, that's funny. And then like the 8th time, you're like, oh God.
and there's probably no
why?
way to turn it off, huh?
No, there's no way to turn. There is going to be like an app at some point that will handle like firmware updates and allow you to change like the EQ and stuff. So I wonder if there'll be like a turn off heavies guy option. But
Wow.
I've been listening to them primarily connected to USB, and I like them. One of the other things they say is because like they're very enclosed headphones and their speaker placement is you can make them louder without experiencing kind of that audio fatigue where your ears get tired. So yeah, you can crank the music. They're supposed to be able to be louder and not hurt your ears. I'm not sure how that works. But for a pair of headphones that are marketed towards heavy metal music, I think they did a good job. I really like how these sound. They are not reference speakers, they are not flat by any stretch of the imagination. They do shit to the sound. Like they have a gimmick they're going for and they lean into it. But it's fun. It's fun. I like them. I
Okay.
like them. Oh.
Well, so it was worth the wait then.
I mean, it was a long time.
That was a long wait.
Oh,
I've been dreaming of this review though.
I'm going to continue to use them as my primary headphones for the foreseeable future. I did do a little bit of like A/B testing with some of my other headphones. They are dramatically different sounding. They're just
well, okay,
they're
then
fun.
let me phrase it this way.
Mm-hmm.
They're good headphones, right?
Yes.
But are they the best headphones you own?
No.
Okay.
No.
What are the best headphones you own?
I mean, what I've been listening to primarily are, what is the number? I know there's a number on here somewhere. They're Hi-Fi Man, something. There's absolutely no markings on these headphones at all.
Wow. That's how you know they're good.
They're like magnetic plate for headphones. They're open back. I have a Aoun X1S headphone amp that I drive them with. They sound really, really good. I really like them. But they're not my heavies. Okay, so I do have one more complaint.
Okay.
So my box came with 3 cables. A short headphone cable, a long headphone cable.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those braided. Nice touch. I love it.
Yep.
Though the headphone jack in the heavies is very recessed, so like if I ever have to buy replacement headphone cables, which I probably won't because I won't use them anyway, I'll have to be very careful to get ones that fit. But they also included a USB-C cable, and that thing is a piece of shit.
Oh.
So it was kind of like, well, use Brinch for like the fancy braided cables for that. Why not a braided USB-C cable? But that's okay. I have braided USB-C cables I can use.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're good. If you like heavy metal music and you want to spend $300 on headphones, you can buy them. Oh, there's also something I've, see if I can find them. Because they kind of hide them on their website. So the little cups on the side that say heavies, those are removable.
So you can clean them.
No, so they're going to sell they're going to sell replacement covers with different designs on them that you can buy and put on your heavies.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find the store, because they sure hide them.
Shop.
You can't. If you just go to shop, you won't be able to find them.
Oh, okay. Headphones.
No, my Google. I
How
found
to
them once.
how to replace the heavy shells?
Yeah,
No?
the shell. Yeah, heavy shells, as they call them.
Okay. Hashtag campaign. Privacy policy.
Okay, hold on. Yep. View all. Okay. Yep. Here. Okay. Nope. Link incoming.
Okay, let's
There
take
we
a look
go.
at this.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's
Shells.
the shell. There's the shells. Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, there's some really hideous ones. Yep.
Ooh. Crowbar.
Okay. I ordered one of these. Pre-ordered.
Ooh. Can we guess? Can
you guess? Yes, you can guess.
All right. Well, before I guess, okay, so it looks like some of these things bands?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like any of these bands?
No.
Okay.
So that can rule out a bunch of them for me.
Okay, so it's like playing Guess Who.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna okay, so okay. If I had to guess, just knowing you, it's not any of the band ones.
It is not.
I would say that you're probably gonna keep it kind of classy.
Mm-hmm.
I have narrowed it down to 2.
Okay.
I would say it's probably the outline shell or the double horns.
Okay.
And
a surprise twist, I ordered both of those.
Okay. All right. You're gonna do one on each side.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Okay.
I do not have them yet. They are actually not there. It's all the pre-order, so I have to wait for them to actually come out. But yeah.
Like
I like the outline shell better, but I bought the devil horns just because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
They're so cute, little skulls and a little devil horn outline. Oh
yeah. I will say that the Symphony X one does look kind of dope. I don't know who that is, or who Symphony X is, but
I do not either. Actually, I've never even heard of them. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is actually very disturbing looking. If I saw somebody wearing those, I would probably cross the street.
Oh.
Okay.
Now there's other additional Kickstarter shenanigans, Drew.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Okay.
The fine people behind the board game Terraforming Mars have another expansion.
Oh, do they now?
Yeah, they do.
I did hear about this because there was some kerfuffle.
Was there kerfuffle? Oh, well, yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a minute. I think I know what kerfuffle you're referring to. So I got notified that they were doing another Kickstarter. They basically were releasing 2, they're calling them expansions, but really they're miniature expansions. They were releasing an Automa, or I think it's Automa, which is like a single-player variant of the game, which I have absolutely no interest in. But they were releasing additional Prelude cards, and Prelude cards are just ways that make the game a little more interesting. But what I was not aware of is that as also part of this expansion, they were also selling neoprene board mats.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with the boards that come with Terraforming Mars today, but neoprene, I like neoprene stuff. The mats are pretty big, and I think it'd be kind of nice to have. There's also some new milestone rewards and a couple other promos that you can get. So I saw this, and Terraforming Mars is a very, very popular game with people we play board games with. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I backed it. One of the friends that plays the game with us had sent me a text and said, "Hey, did you see this?" And I'm like, I basically sent him a screenshot of the email where I backed it, and no one was surprised. But that led to an interesting sort of discussion amongst the group. And that is, what's the most money I have ever spent on a board game? All in, right? All expansions, right? Not just list price of the game itself.
Yeah.
You've seen my collection. I mean, do you want to wager any guesses?
I mean, you have spent a lot on Terraforming Mars.
I mean, look, it's Terraforming Mars versus the field.
Yeah.
If I were to...
Yeah, because you bought that special edition with all like the 3D.
I did the math.
Yeah. Okay.
So I bought the original game. Bought the original game.
Okay.
Then I bought replacement cubes that were metal.
Yeah.
Then I bought the broken token organizer. Then I bought the first couple board expansions. Then I bought the first couple other mini expansions. Then I bought the game again when they did the collector's edition, which was like, oversized tiles and card sleeves and everything. Then I just backed this. And I think there was one other Kickstarter that I backed. And if my math is correct, I have spent just a hair under $1,000 on Terraforming Mars. When you factor in everything that I have bought.
Wow.
Yes.
That's significant for a board game.
Yeah, that is like when you look at the different board games in my collection, even across games that I have bought twice, either accidentally or on purpose with like collector's editions that have come back out. It's Terraforming Mars versus the Field. But if you had a second place guess, what do you think?
What would be my second guess? Well, you just did buy the Castles of Mad King Ludwig with those fancy pieces. I don't know if that would be it.
Nope.
What's the? Is it no? Okay, I'm picturing in my mind this Kickstarter that came with like big plastic towers.
Big plastic towers.
I don't know whether that's it, or was it like your collector's edition of like what, Suburbia?
See, all those Ted Alsblock games and all those games, they all seem to have collector's editions. And you're right. I have bought multiple copies of those games, but none of those are in second place.
Well, so what is it?
Kingdom Death.
I didn't even think about that because we haven't even played it.
Right. If you factor in all the money that I've spent on Kingdom Death, it's like $400 or $500 maybe.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be my second place game. And then there's all these other games that I have like multiple copies of, right? Because like I bought the original game, and then there's like a collector's edition and some of that other stuff. And then like if you had guessed like X-Wing or like Armada or something like that, I would have corrected you, because I don't really consider those to be board games. Those are more like tabletop games.
Yeah,
like,
those aren't board games.
And plus, those are designed to be money sinks. I mean, and Magic, that's a CCG. I'm not gonna factor that in. I mean, over my 40 years, I can't even begin to calculate how much I spent on Magic cards, even though I'm not actively playing that game anymore. But yeah, so more Terraforming Mars, and this should arrive probably not too long. So look for another game night when we get that done.
Okay.
All right. Moving on. Since we're recording later this week, I'm assuming you got all your new toys.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this next one talks about how you like watch OS 10.
Which I wrote that before. I wrote that before I got my Ultra. Yeah.
Yes. But how are you liking the Ultra?
I love it. It. The screen is so nice.
It's really nice, right?
It's so nice.
Yep.
Oh, it's nice. Yes,
did both of your bands arrive?
Only one. The other one, I got the olive Alpine loop.
Yep.
It's fine.
What do you think of that? Are you used to putting it on and off?
I'm still getting used to it, and I'm still getting used to figuring out what the size was. You know, getting it so it's not too tight, not too loose. It's fine. It's a little seems a little complicated for a watch band, but it's fine. It looks nice. I'm currently not wearing it though. I wanted to see how it worked with like a regular old sport loop. So I have that on today. But yeah, no, I love the watch. The band is fine. It's fine. It does look, the olive green does look really nice with it. I will have to say, it is very, very sharp looking. But I really like the watch, and I really like I really like Watch OS 10.
Okay, so that was the original title of this particular thing before we shuffled around our recording day. So, is it available for everybody now?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so I haven't downloaded yet. So give me like your 2 or 3 top things in Watch OS 10 that you like.
I'll give you the one top thing. If you're looking at your watch face and you scroll up, you get this little collection of widgets. I don't know if you kind of remembered the Siri watch face.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's gone because it didn't work well. But this kind of fulfills the promise of the Siri watch face. There are certain widgets you can put in there and say, hey, I always want to see these. So like for me, I have a little weather widget. I have some small little uh uh little widgets as well, like my battery and stuff. And then I say like, hey, I always want to see my calendar. So it adds like this little square for like my next 3 meetings. And then like if you're listening to something or have a timer going, it'll just add one of those little widget boxes to it automatically, and you can just scroll up and see it, and it's fantastic. It works so well. It's good. It's good. I like that. I like that feature. That's really it. That feature's
Okay.
good. So
Which watch face did you decide to run?
I am currently rocking, what is it called? It's the new one that's also the default.
That's the one I want to try.
Yeah. Modular Ultra is what it is called.
Modular Ultra. All right.
Yes.
I will go install this right after we're done recording.
Yep.
And then how's the phone?
We set it up today because we got it on Friday, but football games and band stuff. My wife likes it. She really hasn't used it too much, mostly just like her normal like texting stuff. We'll probably have a better review of the phone and the cameras after like the next like band event. But I will have to say, like, the titanium is nice. You can definitely feel the weight difference in your hand. Granted, she has a Max, but just like holding her 14 Pro Max or 15 Pro Max in the hand, it feels way better. And somebody at Apple whoever's in charge of iPhone colors at Apple, just please do a better job.
Oh no.
It's fine. I mean, they're calling it blue titanium, and it's more like midnight on my like MacBook Air.
Oh.
Which is fine if you called it midnight, but they called it blue.
Yeah, I would expect
blue.
something a little lighter.
It's not blue. It's not blue. It's
Okay.
it's like it's one of those things where like if you look at it, it's like, is that gray or black? Wait, is that kind of blue? No. Just do better. Of course, she put it in a case right away, and so you can't see what color it is anymore anyway, but it's just very disappointing.
Okay.
But so far so good. Though it did take like almost 3 hours to do like the device transfer, or the phone transfer, and that was just kind of brutal. It was like it sat at almost like about 3 minutes remaining for about 20 minutes. Though I am wondering, like, now that we have like USB-C, well, like in like future years, will I just be able to like connect a USB cable between the two phones and just do like a USB, like high speed transfer between the two phones? Because that would be awesome.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi experience isn't super great.
Yeah.
Any other watch thoughts so far?
It's so pretty. I mean, yes, it's thicker and yes, it's bigger, but the titanium makes it feel light. I love the orange accents. I love how bright and big the screen is. It just looks good. I'm so happy I bought it. It's just it's good. I like the crown guard. I like everything about it. It's big and it's beautiful, and I loves it. I loves it so much.
And it's not heavy.
It's not heavy.
It's not heavy,
no.
right?
No. I mean, it's probably a little bit heavier than like my other watch, but then again, maybe not.
That was the most remarkable thing about when I put it on. And I think it's maybe why I appreciate the Alpine Loop Band more, is that, I mean, the heaviest watch I own is my Tag. My Tag Heuer is very heavy because it's like a big, 43 millimeter watch, and it's got a chronometer in it and everything. And then like my Rolex is not heavy at all compared to that. But this thing, even though it's made of titanium and has a big piece of glass on it, like it's not heavy.
Battery, yeah.
And like when I'm working out, I barely notice it.
And the battery life is redonkulous.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, I put it on yesterday. Gee, I took a shower a little later because I knew I had to get ready. So I probably put it on around 11 o'clock in the morning. And I looked at it like, I wonder what the battery's doing. So I looked at it about 9 o'clock, and it was like, it was at 80%. I was like,
I mean, that's ridiculous.
How is that even possible?
Yeah.
But yeah. And like today I've used 6% of my battery. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, yeah, it's good. It's good. I really, if you're on the fence about the Apple Watch Ultra, just get it. Just get it.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. Okay, last topic for the night. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you probably weren't surprised because I know you're not the biggest LinkedIn fan in the world, but
Nope.
I passed another exam.
Woo! What'd you pass?
So I had to pass, I'll put a link in the show notes here, the Databricks Certified Machine Learning Associate exam. So, look, I'm not going to make this like a big thing about like, are certifications worth it? Like, should we have to do this? And, when I was working at Microsoft, there was an expectation every year that you had to hold some certification. Now, most technical certifications, things you take exam for, are good for anywhere from 2 to 3 years. So, like at Microsoft, the year I joined, I took a Azure Architecture certification exam and passed it. It was good for 2 years, but that did not preclude me from taking an exam the next year. I just had to take it on something else. They wanted you to pass one certification exam a year, and look, I mean, there's a lot that goes into studying for these types of exams and memorization and all that other stuff. But when I joined Databricks, as part of my new hire plan, they had a very set like stuff that you had to go through, like our internal employee training platform for, and there was an expectation that I had to take and pass a data engineering certification, which I did. I did that like as part of my onboarding process, and then earlier this year, they came out and said that everybody, not just new hires, but everybody in the company had to have 2 certifications done by October. And I have never been a machine learning person. I mean, other than messing around with like stuff on my local computer with like Stable Diffusion and some like chatbots and like Chat GPT and stuff, like I have never developed, deployed, retrained, or versioned a machine learning model. But that's what this course was designed to do. It's interesting though, because I would say that yes, there is some Databricks specific stuff on the exam, but it was mostly a kind of assessment around how much you know about machine learning, which I knew nothing. I seriously knew nothing. And that's why I was kind of like really kind of nervous about it. So I studied my butt off for about a month. And then I was able to get it done. I do want to give a shout out to a particular class that I took on Udemy, actually. And it is the Complete Machine Learning and Data Science Bootcamp. You can buy the course. I mean, I'm not affiliated with this at all, but as someone who had never had a data science background, hadn't taken statistics since college, like I really needed to start sort of square one, because like some of the questions on the exam were like, for a regression problem, what are the default metrics that you use to evaluate your model? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like,
what do those words mean?
Yeah, like I just answer everything R squared or negative R squared. That's the only one I know. But I took this course, and it was a really good course because it started with like the basics about like what they're designed to do, how they work. There was a section on working with pandas, which is a Python library that lets you work with things like data frames and do statistical analysis and data analysis and stuff like that. But see, the challenging thing is that a lot of that stuff doesn't apply to distributed computing. When you really want to do things at scale, you don't really do it with pandas. So you have to understand like modern machine learning like workflows, and then you sort of have to do the mental gymnastics to translate that into like Apache Spark.
Okay.
And some of like the paradigms that exist between the two. But I really enjoyed the course, and you actually get like a ton for your money in that course. So if you're listening to this and if you ever had a hankering to do this, I would say this course is aimed at absolute beginners. It gets super deep, but don't let that intimidate you. They give you plenty of examples to work from. Like they walk you through setting up your environment, which is completely invaluable. Like I can't begin to tell you like how easy it is like to fuck up like a local Python environment. Like because of just how touchy some of these things are with versions. So like actually creating virtual environments and locking your versions, and like they walk through doing all of that stuff with like Anaconda. Like it was really, really good. And then the actual like meat of the course when they teach you about machine learning, and they go through some different examples. They talk about classification, they talk about regression, and they talk about like how to properly split your data and do cross validation and like all these different topics that I had no idea what they were. But it was really, really good. And then, I took this course and I studied some internal stuff that we have. And I was able to take the test and pass. And I definitely feel like I have a better grasp on it. Like, yeah, thanks. And like, even when I took the data engineering cert, like I didn't really feel like I learned anything new because I kind of already was doing that, But this is like the first certification that I have taken in a while where at the end of it, I actually feel like I know more than when I started.
Good.
And
I remember you were kind of nervous about this one originally. So
yeah, I was. Yeah. I was very nervous. And this coming week was sort of we have kind of an interesting week at work this week. We have like our internal tech summit. So it's like, no customer work this week. It was basically designed to be a week where PG is going to come and talk to us about stuff that's coming. Going to be some round tables, and like there was like a specific day carved out this week for people to either study or schedule their exams. So that way, like if nobody passes, you have to wait 3 weeks before you can take it again, so they can take it before the deadline. But look, I have mixed feelings on things like certification exams, but and like no bullshit, like I'm not like trying to justify anything here, but it's just like I honestly feel like doing this one, I feel like I actually learned new skills, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I really can't say that of other exams that I have taken at other large tech companies. Let's just put it that way.
Got it.
So
cool. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising that like Databricks makes you take the Databricks certifications. I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Like if you go to the show notes and you actually click into that certification, there's basically like four sections of the exam. The first section was what they call Databricks machine learning, which is like specific product features to Databricks. But like sections 2, 3, and 4, like developing a machine learning workflow, like actually building a pipeline and like knowing like how to properly split data, like what libraries you want to use in Spark ML, not like scikit-learn, by the way, which is what everybody learns, but like how to like choose the right model in Spark ML, and then how to like take something that somebody developed on their local computer and scale it out across a distributed cluster. Like 2, 3, and 4, like 1 was easy, like because I live and breathe that shit every day. But like actually being a practitioner is what you need for like sections 2, 3, and 4.
Cool.
So yeah. All right, well, let's get you out of here, Cinderella, so you can go play Cyberpunk.
Actually, I might just go to bed.
Okay, well then go to bed.
I'm very tired. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, we're on the internet doing their best.com. We're on Threads there. Look for us there. Now the Threads app actually supports multiple accounts, so I probably should make like a show account there as well. Because Threads is pretty good. Check out Threads. It's better than the alternatives, I guess.
Right.
Doingtheirbest.com. Everything's there you need. Just go there. Yeah. And thanks for listening. And play Cyberpunk.